Hey, welcome to the Elizabeth Project, where we talk about faith, finding purpose, and friendships. And we still have our guest, Miss Kristi Glenn, and we're going to kind of take what we learned in the episode last week and apply it to our daily lives today. One thing that we thought about was how can we practically in churches intentionally create spaces for integration and conversation? Lindsay and Kristi, what do you think about that?
I think this is a great one. Miss Kristi's going to be the best one to answer this because she is the bomb.com pastor's wife, seeing it in real life. My initial thoughts, and I want to kind of span on this because maybe today can be a space to create ideas, give some ideas to people of what can be started. I'll tell you in my own life, I personally think the biggest thing that we are missing is a true mentorship program.
Absolutely.
People don't always know where to start or how to reach out to the younger or to the older. So if that was set up for them, intentionally set up, a once a month or a once a week, then they would know how to lead there. But even this can go as casual, Miss Kristi, as like you said in the last episode, of saying hello or fellowship time at the beginning or after a service. Mm-hmm. So what are some things that you feel like you guys have done to make this happen?
Well, one thing I love about our church is we are very intentional with casual gatherings. Mm-hmm. Okay, we have an annual softball game every June. The fun that our church has in that one activity alone, and I'm talking, this was junior church age all the way to adults, all playing softball together at the exact same time. Mm-hmm. Just having so much fun together. Our young adults challenge our joy group, which is just older youth, our joy group, to a cornhole tournament every single year. And the two of them go back and forth. So not only is it a competition between, and it's a fun competition, but the conversations that an older person and one of the young adults are having at the cornhole box, waiting on their turn to go. Mm-hmm. It's just growing that gap, bridging that gap between those two generations over cornhole.
So that's truly setting up events at your church.
Yes.
That help this gap.
Yes. Our teen girls, now this is kind of a different take. Our teen girls treated our junior church girls to a luncheon and a girls makeover at the church one afternoon. We set up this fun girl party, and the teen girls served the junior church girls and painted their nails and did their hair and made this cute little luncheon for the little girls. It was precious. We're to be teaching the younger, even the little girls. And what the teen girls did that day was teach the little girls, we're not too cool for you.
Yep.
We love you, and we're here to serve you today. Mm-hmm. What can we do for you? And it was precious. It was absolutely such a beautiful day.
So Shane, one thing I thought about with you, tell me something that you did, like what sticks out in your mind when you were working with teen girls. You were so close in age to them, and that was the most beautiful thing. Like, how do you feel like you integrated, even from being graduated freshly out of high school, dealing still with the people in high school and middle school?
A lot of it was just really including them in even daily things in my life. Like, for instance, and it helps too, the church atmosphere that we had growing up. Everybody loved being at the church. There was a school there, so any time of day you could pretty much drive by the church, stop by the church. There would be somebody hanging around, somebody doing something. Teens would hang out in the teen room. It literally was just a wonderful atmosphere. So on any given day, you could be like, ride with me, I've got to go pick up a few errands before we have teen tonight. And just really involving them in just even the small things, even errands that you're doing in your life, but just allowing them to ride with you, to be a part. They also did a great job with letting the teens and youngers be involved in normal church things, as far as the choir or serving in any capacity. And so when they were involved, they really felt that connection with the older members of the congregation, which I thought was great. And I cannot take hardly any credit. We had wonderful, wonderful youth leaders. For instance, it wasn't to be any weird thing for every other week or once a month for them to plan an event for all of them to come at their house. And we felt like their house was our house and we could always be there. And I don't know, that's what would go back to even that first episode that we talked about with that connection. And I just think just real, genuine, hanging out, being allowed to be around each other and things that aren't just planned, if that makes sense.
Right. So I think a few things popped in my head when you said that. There was a specific instance with an older lady and myself, and she was talking about how she felt like she had lost her purpose because as she had gotten older, she wasn't able to go and do. And you know what I told her? I said, but you still can pray. Like,
Absolutely.
I need you to pray for me.
Yes.
I need you to pray with me. And she was like, oh, honey, I just sit by the phone waiting for a call. And it was so sweet. So like that was a thing. But then you also do have to take a step out. Y'all, sometimes even when you are the older person in the conversation or in the situation, it can be a little awkward feeling even as the older one in the situation. Like I went in the other day just casually into Miss Kristi's house and was like, Maya, you want to ride to the dollar store with me?
I was just about to say that very thing.
But y'all, I kind of panicked. I was like, what if she doesn't want to go with me? But as the older one in that, could I have been like, oh, I'm not going to ask her because what if she doesn't want to go? And I could have stopped myself.
Right.
But instead, just put yourself out there.
Right.
9 times out of 10, you do want to go and do. And
our fears, I'm sorry, our fears stop us from doing so many things.
Yes.
And it's like my husband says, 9 times out of 10, our worries never come to be.
That's right.
It's in our head, and it's Satan puts those thoughts in our head because he doesn't want these things to continue and grow. And so he's going to tell you, they're not going to like you.
That's right.
They're going to think you're silly. They're not going to want to do that with you.
Right.
But 9 times out of 10, they long for that.
That's
They're
right.
looking for that.
You just have to put the first foot forward.
To put that forward. Yeah.
So funny as like I remember being a teenager and thinking it was so cool when somebody older wanted to do something with me or invited me along. And I don't know why now, as you know, I hope I'm not super old, but at 31, I get severe anxiety going up to them jokers. I'm like, they are hardcore judging me. I'm no longer cool. And so when I go up to a teenager, I'm almost like that friend scaredy of like, they're not going to want to be my friend.
It is. You do think that, but because think about y'all how vividly I remember being a teenager. And so I think about when I'm 70 or 80 years old, you probably still feel like you remember what it felt, so everybody just wants to be included. Y'all, yes. I watched it growing up. And again, everybody didn't have that opportunity, but like my mom mentored through meeting at the coffee shop, working out. We got so close to one of our friends. We worked out together every day, me, my mom, and her. So then guess what? She was mentoring that teenage girl while that teenage girl was pouring into me as I was in elementary and middle school. We had this funky, cool, multi-generational relationship as we're at the gym together. People that came over to the pool or you have to make it not so formal all the time. Sometimes it just needs to be normal. So Shane, I'm so glad you brought this up, Miss Kristi. What is the number one thing we think would be the coolest hangout day?
I always say if I can get everybody into Miss Kristi's house, you'll never leave the same. Let us all come in. Obviously, we can't fit in Miss Kristi's bougie barn, but we can get us a space and let Miss Kristi just show us just practical things. Like I have people coming over to my house that we last minute decided are coming over, and I need a quick meal to throw on in, 30 minutes or less, or I need pantry staples that I need to keep in case this does happen. And so I do have the stuff on hand to be able to just throw something together. I mean, you will never go into Miss Kristi's house where she has not made a brownie or a cookie of some sort. And like, we were not planning to come over here. How did you do that?
That's some things you could do. Ask them, do they want to learn how to make your famous cookies? Ask them, can y'all go grocery shopping together and get the staples for the newly married couple? What do you need in your house? Y'all, they don't even have condiments. You know what I'm saying? Like teach them what they need.
So one thing we haven't done it in a while, but we do have what we call an accountability group with the teen girls. I would teach them how to prepare college style, quick, easy college style foods so that when they do leave home, they're in college and they're in their dorm room. Oh, I remember when we learned how to make oven pizzas or, homemade oven pizzas or taco salad or just easy, practical things that they could make. And then I challenged them to go home and make that same meal for their family so that they would know when they get older, hey, this was a meal that I learned how to make and it's quick and it's easy and everyone loves it. And I challenge them, go home and go through your pantry, see what items you need and what mom needs to go to the grocery store and get for you to make this meal for your family. And then afterwards we would play games around the table and have so much fun. But that was something that was such a fun, easy, so enjoyable to come and make a meal together. We would make the dessert following the meal, and the girls did all of the things. I would just tell them what to do, and I made them mix everything. I made them turn on the ovens and bake all the things. They washed all the dishes afterwards. It was from point A to point B on how to prepare meals, and it was a beautiful, precious time with our teen girls. Loved it.
And I think that's one thing that we're missing is the openness in the home, like the generation that's a
Right.
struggle. And y'all, some of my sweetest memories are sitting, like there was an elderly couple in our church. There was a day I went over there, sat on their porch and just talked and watched them care for their son.
Yeah.
And I think back to that still to this day. Or we went in, Shane was actually with me, went into an older man's home, and he showed us all of their family portraits and the things that he did with his kids and his grandkids and with our families, y'all. That sounds weird. I guess it wasn't just me and Shane. But y'all, it was such a thing. Like, get in their homes, ask them questions, look through photo albums, talk about stories. There is so much that we can relate on. Are you about finished with that beef stick? Well, you got to finish this.
I can't with you right now.
I tried. Okay. I don't know that I could come back. Let's see. We had to pause that for a brief minute. Honestly, I was driving in my car. My phone was about to die, and I had to go in Target and get a charger and a beef stick. So anyway, don't even know where we left off. So we're just going to continue. Like I said, y'all, raw and real. And so with that, we were talking about, creating spaces, creating conversations, creating things that you can really connect on practically. But with that, Miss Kristi, I was thinking about, what do you think, or how does discipleship look like when both generations are learning from each other, and how can we create discipleship naturally and organically?
Well, I truly, truly believe that everyone is teachable.
Okay.
And you have to go into these conversations truly believing that we don't know it all. We don't have all the answers. The one that we're talking with isn't coming at you like they know nothing.
Right.
No one has arrived. No one has it all together. No one has the perfect life. But understand that it's a matter of respect on both sides. You both have to come at this conversation with respect for one another. Go in knowing that you'll learn from each other. Go in expecting that you're going to learn something. Something I've learned from one of our teen girls, it's absolutely one of the most beautiful things I've learned from one of our teen girls, actually, because I watch her. She is one that will not hold a grudge. She can be hurt. I've watched it happen. She can be hurt, and 10 minutes later, she's laughing with the same girls that just hurt her.
That's
and
awesome.
It's beautiful to watch, because I've seen her being able to just shake it off. She's such a happier person than those who tend to want to hold a grudge against someone because they hurt their feelings 10 minutes ago. And to watch her do that, I've learned from her. That just shake it off. Maybe it wasn't intentional. Maybe something that's said or done wasn't intentional, but you may have taken it the wrong way. Shake it off. And that's something I've learned from watching a teenager. So none of us have it all together. None of us know all the answers, but go in knowing and expecting and wanting to learn something and take it away from the conversation.
Well, it's all about that mutual exchange, between generations. The older generation, they offer perspective. The younger, it usually brings passion. So
when I was in education, we always talked about being lifelong learners. Like you said, Miss Kristi, none of us have arrived. We all have something to learn. We are all teachable. So what can that be?
Something I thought of, the relationship that Ruth and Naomi must have had, for her to have been willing to leave everything that she had ever known, the life that she had only known and loved, the conversations in the evenings that she and Naomi must have had, for her to have been willing to leave everything she'd ever known and go and support Naomi in her time of need. Can you imagine the conversations or the things that Ruth had to have listened to Naomi say at some point or another? The influence that she had in her life to have been willing to follow her and be a help to her later in her life had to have been incredible.
Well, she realized the investment.
The example that Naomi had to have set before Ruth, to me, is always overwhelming.
And that's probably the key right there, honestly, of, does my life have a legacy,
Yes.
have a title on it per se, that someone else would want to follow behind me.
Would want to follow.
Yeah, it makes it that
Yeah.
intriguing. Do they see Jesus that much in me? Am I such a light that they want to come and be just like it? Not in a prideful way, not in a boastful way. Y'all, that's living like Jesus.
Absolutely.
If we're living like Christ and modeling a life as he would, man, that's something to chase after.
I mean, I was thinking about this last night, and I thought, if we would all be the Naomi and have someone want that same example, to be that same example to someone, whatever. Can you imagine? Can you imagine if we all desired to be a Naomi to someone? Okay, ladies, so how do we do this? How do we go about this?
I think it's one of those things we have to come to each other. After you've listened to this podcast, reach out to the three of us. Let's brainstorm ideas. Let's talk about ways your church can break down these walls, these gaps. How do you, as a friend, as a Christian, do this in your own life? Let's brainstorm so we all can grow and go together.
Right.
I'm for it. Let's
Say
do
make
it.
a conscious effort this week.
All right, right now. So we're going to put in action right now what we just talked about.
Let's go.
Let's think of some things. Like, what are some things that listeners can do today to help start bridging these generational gaps, to start creating real relationships between the generations and making it easy, making that conversation just be so easy.
I think my heart after this episode would be for whoever is listening, don't wait on someone else.
And I know this isn't the popular thing to do these days, but taking the time to send someone a card, that personal touch lets them know, I'm really thinking about you. It goes miles.
What else, Shane, are you thinking? Like, what are you thinking that you could do today, or any other ideas for other listeners?
Okay, so for me, I don't even know how to start or where to start. Usually when it comes to communication, I'm trying to really grow and learn, and that's what this has all been about. So I'm growing and learning along with you. This is not anything that I have arrived at or know the answers to. If somebody would literally tell me what to do, I would do it. I say that all the time about anything. If there is a goal to reach, if you would just tell me the step-by-step play to do it, I'm willing to do the steps that it takes. Sometimes it just doesn't correlate. So for those listeners that are like me that need it, wrote out word for word, what I want you to do is, if you're of the older generation, go ahead, just come up with a few younger ladies that you can send a text to that literally just says, hey, is there anything I can pray for you about? Or just kind of open up those doors to be able to have that conversation. And if you're uncomfortable starting off with that, maybe just even start off with a text of encouragement of just something along the lines of, hey, I see you and you're doing a great job. It can literally be that simple. And then if you're of the younger generation, I know this is going to sound a little uncomfortable, but if we could just maybe somehow start a text thread or a call, or if you see them in person, just be like, hey, start off with something small that you're struggling with and say, is there anything in this area that I can learn from you? It may take them off guard, and if it does, just say, you don't have to respond to me right now. If you would take some time just to either think about it or pray about it, and just let me know when you get that time.
Yes, and if any of this seems awkward or like you felt rejected by it, it's okay. Don't let that, like Miss Kristi said, do not let that stop you.
Right. I agree.
Oh my word, one more idea. Or when you see like a little girl, a little lovey. I saw a little relationship last night. They were just dancing and pointing fingers at each other. And it was the cutest thing, a teen girl with a little love. Do that. Like, do it to them too. Find multi-generational challenges for yourself.
Yeah.
And listen, you're never arrived in the younger generation or the older generation. Like, for instance, like you just said, teenagers. Don't block yourself out as thinking, well, I'm just the younger and everything and continually need to address the older. You just said, find those that are even younger than you and go up to them, play with them, hang out with them, do that little, like you just said, pointy dance, and then just remind them that Jesus loves them. I mean, even at that little bit of age, what an impact that could make.
Y'all, I'm ready to go. I'm about to find a little and a my age and a middle age and an old and an old. Like, we're sorry, I keep using the word old. I'm so sorry, ladies, but let's go.
Let's go.
Yes, so this has all been so incredibly good, and I'm so excited to see where it goes from here. And thank you, Miss Kristi, for taking the time. I know this has been longer probably than you intended on spending with us, but I'm so thankful for your time.
Thank you so much for having me. I enjoyed it. I really did.
Yay! And then thanks, Lindsay, for always being here.
Oh, my girl, yes. Y'all, don't forget, let's talk and close the gap on generational conversation. Is that good?
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah. That was so fun.
So good, isn't it?
So fun.
Thanks for spending time with us here on the Elizabeth Project. Every listen, every share, and every message means the world. My hope is that these conversations remind you that you're seen, you're called, and you have a purpose right where you are. Until next time, keep showing up, keep growing, and remember, you belong here.